They have a few days to get ready for that first round matchup, and they appear poised to make the program's deepest run under Coach Rob Stretzmeyer. They've had a couple of quarterfinal losses where they thought they might have been the better team, but it didn't work out their way, partially due to not being the fresher team.
Oh, that's part of it. And the other piece of it is on any given day, boy, I tell you what. I mean, we've been to so many games this season together, Ralph, and you and I both have seen close games and tight games and upsets. And, the game we did the other day was amazing at Sachem. That game was unbelievable, double overtime. It just goes to show you that this is truly why we play the games.
Sharika hoping to get the bounce to come her way, then tried to kind of volley it and one-time it on. But Marissa Ferber able to handle it. Well, Sharika, so special, described by Rob Stretzmeyer, somebody that can take over games, and they're asking her towards the playoffs to make her teammates better.
Well, she's clearly made her teammates better throughout this entire season, and that's such an unselfish quality. And there are times that you need your players to be selfish, and there are times that you don't need your players to be selfish. And to be able to find that balance, that's when you know that you're truly ready to get to the next level, and that's that college level where everybody's as good as you are, everybody was the best on their high school team, and you truly play for the name on the front of the jersey when you get to the next level. And that's what high school sports is about, training you for that. I mean, look, we love high school sports. We're on Long Island. But ultimately, we're getting these young ladies ready for the next level.
Sharika, a good feed inside, leaves it here for Gibbons, and a nice idea before Schwartz came over. Jessica Schwartz, the right back, to sweep that play away. And Sheridan possessing for the Bulls. They pride themselves on being a tremendous possession-style team. As a ball in the box, Sharika knocked it away from Ferber, and then Will Comley, but she missed it! Oh, it was wide open, and one of the county's best players, 99 out of 100, maybe more, normally buries that.
And especially because she works so hard to get it, Ralph. Here you see Sharika coming down the defender, gets it right past the goalie. All she needs now is just a little, and hits off the outside of her left foot and goes wide of the cage. And, fortunate for Smithtown, that's going to make the highlight reel at some point when they're having their end-of-the-year pasta party.
They hope they're celebrating a county championship and can laugh about that. Here is Bolero putting it across, and Cascone had to hold up to the short side as Hills East did have the chance for the counter.
That's a tough shot by Bologna there. She really what she needed to do on that one, Bolero, was either put it on goal and pick a corner, or really go cross cage and see if one of her teammates could get it in. She kind of got caught in between, and it was actually an easy save for the goalie.
Tossing coming up for Smithtown West. They've scored 42 goals on the year, 4 straight wins heading into the playoffs. Those lone losses at the hands of Northport. As in the air, that was Lisa DiNardo, and we're going to get appears like a foul against Smithtown West. So DiNardo, who is hoping to play college soccer next year, this is her final opportunity to impress, and she'll get it in, but Alexa Sheridan to knock it down, and Julianne Spano here for Hills East. And that one out of play just off the feet of Gabby Cabello. So Hills East will have the throw-in as they've been able to weather some early Smithtown West storms. And already, so far, so good, I'd say, for Coach Matt Mayo's team, in the sense when they played in the regular season, the first 10 minutes, he felt his girls would just weren't ready to play. They were just not as inspired to play, and maybe a little bit down from their previous results. And while Smithtown West hasn't buried a couple chances, they've been able to be a lot more competitive.
I tell you, and in the very beginning of a game whether your team is ready or not, and it has nothing to do, you can't say, we didn't prepare them or anything. You prepare your kids for every game. There are just some days that they come out the first 10 minutes flat, and the only thing that you hope and pray for is that they wake up soon enough to turn it around, and or it's, they start flat in the first 10 minutes and it's 0-0. But, it's so interesting to watch when and it happens at all levels where you see a team that will come out flat.
Well, Smithtown West didn't come out flat against Northport. They just had a couple of lapses. That's why they've lost twice, including one point that Rob Schretzmeyer described, just a devastating period. 2 minutes left to go in the first half of one of their Northport games. They gave up 2 goals on set pieces, just not mentally focused on marking, and that was their undoing in one of them. So they felt they were really close, but do not have a win to show for it. And as he described, they were playoff games in the middle of September and October.
Well, and what happens ultimately is, okay, those are great games during the season, but if you end up holding, whoever ends up holding the hardware, and that erases everything else that's gone on. I mean, you never want to give up a game. You don't want to lose a game during the season, but you don't want to get too high during the season. You don't want to get too low. Because if you can turn it around at the end of the season, you end up being the county champs, it's not going to matter that you lost during the season.
It'll all be forgotten and just a small footnote.
It'll be part of the journey, and that's all it'll be, is part of the journey. We needed those 2 low. You know, you could spin it any way you want as a coach. I've spun stuff, boy. I can't. I should be Rapunzel at this point. That's how much stuff I've spun.
They should be in public relations. Julianne Spano is going to get called for the foul. They're being aggressive. Spano, a junior that will be back next year to team up with Christina Bolero.
And right here, there's, and again, that's that physical play going on, and you just want to make sure there's so much contact in this sport. I just, like I said, as I'm watching it, it really amazes me how much contact goes on.
Spano, good pass to Bolero. Has a man cutting through. She put it across, and just not in the right position was one of her teammates striking through the middle. On the back end, Joanne Voyard, a junior that just came in, was just about 2 yards off.
And trying not to get offsides on this play, and that's the biggest thing with soccer, trying to time those passes without being offsides.
Bolero, wonderful play and setup. She's got all 3 of their opportunities, and Julianne Spano created the first chance by sending a very good pass from the sideline to her. And Schwartz will let this one go for a Hills East throw-in. Nearly midway through this first half, and this one will go back to the Bulls. So we showed you also the fascinating number about Smithtown West. They've allowed just 7 goals all year, but 5 of them at the hands of Northport in those 2 games. So they are ultra stingy. You're not going to give up, or you're not going to get many opportunities. And Hills East has had a couple generated by Christina Bolero.
But this is going to show you what a special team Northport is as well. I mean, I know everybody's trying to catch them and everyone's hoping, but truthfully, Northport is a special team this season.
Dropped into midfield where it'll be brought back and sent forward. Sheridan. Spano to intercept, try to spin her way through was Chelsea D'Antona. And D'Antona worked it to the outside for Gabby Cabello. And Cabello, let's see if she got a touch. She did not. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Hills East.
That was nice defense on that play right there. And Spano had some real nifty moves to get it in there, but unfortunately, by the time she did get it in, Cabello had the defender draped right on her and couldn't do much with the ball.
Bolero will bring it in and send out a teammate quickly. Nice job stepping up there was Palazzolo. And sliding through is Kaylee Crockett. She was tripped up, and a quick restart coming up for the Bulls. Crockett, all-county last year. She's a co-captain. It's anchored them as a 2-year starting center back. Overall, 4th year on the varsity. So Crockett to drive it in. Brought in by Sharika. And Sharika tied up. And the Thunderbirds will keep it away from her for the all-county player each of the last 2 years. Palazzolo out wide. Palazzolo looking on the back end. She had Sheridan. Ball volleys down, but the shot missed. Sydney Donovan, who just came in for Smithtown West, coming off of a huge game lately against Bayshore, missed it.
Great cross right here that gets through right there. Donovan's right on that. Hits it on the inside part of her foot, though, and it goes up and over the top. Instead of really just striking it off the toe, she goes to the inside part of her foot. I tell you, Ralph, the one thing that I find so interesting about soccer, before...
This is a ball inside, nicely done for Gibbons. Then Ferber has to come up with a save on a nice redirection. Again, the chemistry between Sharika and Miranda Gibbons has been something else.
That was a nice save, though, by Ferber. Boy, that was very aggressive and very confident for a player who hasn't played that much this season in the cage.
Marissa Ferber, this is her first start, and she will be in the mix next year in goal.
This is just, look at this give and go right here. I mean, that is perfectly played. Nice aggressive play. Push that girl out of the way, too. I like that.
Ferber
great.
had a broken wrist in the preseason, played just a little bit, but she was turned into a goalie when she was a freshman. In the second half, we expect to see sophomore Mackenzie Kagan in. And so Hills East on a veteran team next year that's going to have 12 seniors. Ferber will be one of them. Kagan will be a junior. Now this is already setting the stage for a calendar year from now. Well, who is going to be at least the incumbent and who is going to be the leader going into summer workouts for that role?
You know, you hate to, it's only October still, and you hate to talk about next year already when there's still so much soccer ahead.
Good ball ahead from Sharika, and just getting in the way nicely was Donardo, getting and impeding the progress of Gabby Cabello.
Yeah, Cabello kind of went down awkwardly on that one, too. And you look at her, she's kind of ginger, getting up a little bit. You know, you hope that she can just kind of walk it and run it off. But, again, those are the types of things that we were talking about. You know, had Smithtown West converted on a few of those plays in the beginning, Ralph, we could be already into subtime.
Here's Sharika in space, this time putting it in. Gabby Sharika with Ferber out of position. Remember the one she missed before. This time Sharika was bearing in and focused on her 10th goal this season. Now the Bulls finally convert here in the 21st minute.
Ferber knew it, too, as soon as it came off her foot. Here's the ball coming in. Sharika beats her defender, stays onside, which is more important, and right there, you see Ferber knew as soon as she kicked it that she was over too wide and left too much open space in the cage. You'll see as Ferber shades all the way to her left, she leaves the right side of the cage wide open, and that's just a gimme right there for a talented player like Sharika.
Very driven from a young age, Gabby Sharika moved to Kentucky in middle school, but then moved back home to Smithtown, so they welcomed her. And she's been nothing but incredible. A 4-year starter on the varsity. Will be certainly a 3-time All-County player and was an All-East Region state selection as a junior. And depending on how the Bulls finish up, she'll have a chance to be an All-Long Island caliber player too before she heads to Western New York. So she's given the Bulls the 1-0 lead, maybe give themselves a chance to relax just a bit.
She better enjoy her last time playing in warm weather in October, November.
Oh boy, yep.
Because where she's going, boy, I tell you, about September 15th in Buffalo, it starts getting a little crazy.
Yeah, that's the Mid-American Conferences. This one is sent in as kind of a falling away shot from Emily Newberger. Is stopped by Cascone. That Mid-American Conference, Kent State of Ohio, all the schools in Michigan, like Central and Western Michigan. It is going to be cold going there for her. Settled here to Palazzolo. And again, Sharika playing it forward or midfield throughout this season. Look to lay it back.
Fancy footwork on the Smithtown girls. I say that their skill level is very, very impressive when you watch them. It's the little things that they make look so simple.
DiNardo, great ball ahead, and Bolero again with space. Crockett trying to cut her off. Ball still loose inside the box. Bolero was hoping maybe to draw a foul as the Bulls were able to collapse on her.
I think that Bolero was close to drawing a foul on that, but I think that that's what she was looking for, and that's why the official didn't grant it.
DiNardo again created the play nicely. Again, Bolero able to turn on Bieneman. Again, Christina Bolero. Crockett comes over. Bolero shot, and she put it over the top.
Wow, all that hard work right there for Bolero. Sets it up perfectly. Puts it over the top. But that's just a great play. You can see the speed on Bolero. She literally burned right by her defender. Right here, she gets the ball, gets her step, cuts in between the two, and just over the top there. I mean, this is just such, this is one right here where she's looking to split the defenders. Not going to get the call on that. She had already lost basic possession of the ball, and they're not going to give her that.
So the Bulls have already seen about 4 quality opportunities from junior Christina Bolero. Here's Hannah Watt.